नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदयान्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, verse 46 to 48. Verse 46. Panchadvarastu paurastya dakshinayka tathottara paschime dve amosham te namani nrupavarnaye. Synonyms: Pancha, 5, Dwara, doors, 2, then, Paurastya, facing the eastern side, Dakshina, the southern, Eka, 1, Tatha, also, Uttara, 1 toward the north, Paschime, similarly on the western side, Dve, 2, Amusham, of them, Te, unto you, Namani, names, Nripa, O king, Varnae, I shall describe. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. My dear king, of the 9 doors, 5 led toward the eastern side, 1 led toward the northern side, 1 led toward the southern side, and 2 led toward the western side. I shall try to give the names of these different doors. Purport of the 7 doors on the surface, namely the 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth, 5 look forward, and these are described as the doors facing the eastern side. Since looking forward means seeing the sun, these are described as the eastern gates, for the sun rises in the east. The gate on the northern side and the gate on the southern side represent the 2 ears, and the 2 gates facing the western side represent the rectum and the genitals. All the doors and gates are described below. Text 47. खद्योताविर्मुखी च प्राग् द्वारवैकत्र निर्मिते विभ्राजितं जनपदं याति ताभ्यां द्युमात् सखा. Synonyms: Khadyota, of the name Khadyota; Avirmukhi, of the name Avirmukhi; Cha, also, Prak, toward the eastern side; Dwarau, 2 gates, Ekatra, in one place; Nirmite, were constructed; Vibrajitam, of the name Vibrajita; Janapadam, city; Yati, used to go; Tabhyam, by them; Dyumat, of the name Dyuman; Sakha, with his friend. Translation. The 2 gates, named Khadyota and Avirmukhi, were situated facing the eastern side, but they were constructed in one place. Through those 2 gates, the king used to go to the city of Viprajita accompanied by a friend whose name was Dyuman. Purport: the 2 names Khadyota and Avirmukhi mean glowworm and torchlight. This indicates that of the 2 eyes, the left eye is less powerful in its ability to see. Although both eyes are constructed in one place, one is stronger than the other in the power to see. The king or the living entity uses these 2 gates to see things properly, but he cannot see unless accompanied by a friend whose name is Dyuman. This friend is the sun. Although the 2 eyes are situated in one place, They have no power to see without the sunlight. Vibrajitam Janapadam. If one wants to see something very clearly, Viprajitam, he must see it with two eyes and the assistance of his friend, the sunlight. Within this body, everyone is a king because he uses his different gates according to his own will. Although he is very much proud of his power to see or hear, he is nonetheless dependent on the assistance of nature. Text 48. नलिनी नालिनी च प्राग् द्वारवेकत्र निर्मिते अवधूत सखस्ताभ्यां विषयं याति सौरभम्. Synonyms: Nalini of the name Nalini, Nalini of the name Nalini, Cha also, Prak, eastern, Dwarau, two gates, Ekatra, in one place, Nirmite, constructed, Avadhuta of the name Avadhuta, Sakha, with his friend, Tabhyam, by those two gates, Vishayam, place, Yati, used to go, Saurabham, of the name Saurabha. Translation: Similarly, in the east, there were two sets of gates named Nalini and Nalini, and these were also constructed in one place. Through these gates, the king, accompanied by a friend named Avatuta, used to go to the city of Saurabha. Purport: The two gates named Nalini and Nalini are the two nostrils. The living entity enjoys these two gates with the help of different avatutas or airs, which constitute the breathing process. Through these gates, the living entity goes to the town of Saurabha or aroma. In other words, the nostrils, with the help of their friend the air, enjoy various aromas in the material world. Nalini and Nalini are the pipes of the nostrils through which one inhales and exhales, enjoying the aroma of sense pleasure. नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself, and please forgive me for any shortcomings. I have taken notes from a lecture by senior devotees. Here Narad Muni, in his causeless mercy, has decided to deliver King Prachinabarhi. This is the nature of saintly personalities. They are paradukha dukhi. They see the sufferings of others even though others cannot see it. The king was not aware that he was in the suffering condition. He thought he was doing very well. Due to ignorance, we think that this material world is an enjoyable place. Narada Muni is explaining in allegorical way to King Prachinabarhi about the city of nine gates where Puranjana was dwelling. Here, Puranjana is the conditioned soul, and the city of nine gates is the human body that has nine outlets for the senses to function. Those nine gates are knowledge acquiring and working senses, like two eyes, two ears, and so on. For a living being to have a human body is the best kind of facility and most wonderful opportunity to enjoy in this material nature. At the same time, we also get the opportunity to get out of this cycle of birth and death from this material world. It is described here how a conditioned soul is trapped within this body of nine gates and how he utilizes these gates to fulfill his desires. Human life can be used either for sense gratification or self realization. Other species like birds, animals, etc., also have body with gates, but they don't have the facility to utilize their senses for self realization. The essence is we too are the enjoyers, but that enjoyment is coming by the association with service to the Supreme Lord. The constitution of the soul is that it's the eternal servant of the Lord. So, acting for Lord's pleasure is the perfection of human life. Happiness can be in the mode of ignorance, or in the mode of passion, or in the mode of goodness. Then there is happiness in the mode of Krishna consciousness. That is transcendental happiness. Sense desires cannot be stopped artificially. The senses require real engagements. If they are not engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagements in the service of materialism. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires are subsided without extraneous efforts. A transcendentally situated person has no desire resulting from petty materialism. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord. As enemies are curbed by superior force, the senses can similarly be curbed not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. We have to take to the process of Krishna consciousness, surrender to Krishna, and absorb in that service for his pleasure. That's the Brahman platform. And when we continue to practice until it becomes our normal way of life, the heavy reality is that we are prisoners of the senses. Why? Because we wanted to be the supreme enjoyers. But that's not our position. We tried to be something that we are not. It's called unnatural. For example, I may think my hand needs some nutrition. So I would stick it into rice and get the nutrition out of rice. I can try squeezing that rice all day long, but I won't get any nutrition just by squeezing that rice. But if that hand simply puts the rice in mouth and gives it to stomach, then immediately every part of the body gets nourished. The more we can give loving service to others, we can become happy inside as well. That is the supreme happiness. The process of purifying our consciousness is very important. Chanting 16 rounds and following four regulative principles, that's not enough. We have to also avoid the offenses. Watch carefully the quality of our rounds and the quality of our consciousness throughout the day. We have to be cultivating the mood in pure devotional service while we are in the process of worshipping deities, while we are in the process of making beautiful kirtans to enliven our hearts, or while distributing books. All these activities are so wonderful, but we have to remember what they are for. What is the ultimate purpose of all these activities? To cultivate pure devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti. Prabhupada said, coming to Krishna consciousness is declaring war on Maya Devi. And how do we win the war? We have to fight it expertly with great determination and patience and never give up. We have to be very vigilant to keep mind under control. For a devotee, it is much easier to process, to control the mind. How? As mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrit Antya Lila 1.99, it says, I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, it is so loaded with unlimited oceans of nectar that we desire many millions of ears. So we can capture at least some of this nectar. And then, when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, our heart becomes completely conquered, and therefore all the senses become inert, and we are stunned in the state of transcendental ecstasy. So, for a devotee, it is much easier. Just got to fall in love with the holy name, and the mind and senses are completely conquered. I will stop here. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.